Hey guys, Legion here. A couple of months ago I made a video about the top 5 most underrated species in Jurassic World Evolution 2. So today I will show you guys the 5 most overrated species, and this list was a lot more difficult to come up with. And also please remember, this is only my opinion and feel free to discuss in the comments. I would love to know what species you guys think are overrated in this game. So yeah, let's get right into the top 5 list. So starting off, we have the Therizinosaurus, a really super popular dinosaur in the whole community, and I get why. Because the Therizinosaurus itself as a dinosaur is just super cool, and I think it's just kind of sad that this Dominion design has a few shortcomings with it. For example, that being the face shape is maybe a little bit weird. Of course, it's not entirely paleo accurate in that way, but I think it's fine. But really, what makes this design just look a little weird and is really missing is the tail, because the tail normally on a Therizinosaur would be super fluffy, and this super fluffy tail, sort of similar to the Dinochirus we have in the game, but maybe even more fluffy, and I think that's really missing on this design. It just makes it look a lot less like an actual Therizinosaurus, and I think with a fluffy tail this could easily be, I would like this design a lot more. So I think it's a little overrated for just those shortcomings, and I don't really see a lot of people talking about them. And also the skins for it aren't really good. Like most of these colors are either pretty pale or just kind of weird. Like what is this weird pinkish gray color? Or for example, with a skin like this, with the belly being this weird green tone, it just doesn't work. It just doesn't look like an actual animal. I think of course there's some good skins, like what I just found right here. I thought that was a pretty nice skin, but it's pretty rare to find good skin combinations for it that look natural, because some of them just have these really weird colors on the belly, like this one for example. So yeah, kind of overrated, but still not a bad species, the Therizinosaurus. Now the next, I think, actually really overrated species is the 2022 Giganotosaurus. I don't know really what the reason for it is. Maybe some people just like this design, but I think if you think this is a cool design, I guess you think it's a cool design, but then just go watch Godzilla movies or something, because this just doesn't look like a Giganotosaurus whatsoever, and I think the other design is so much better as a Giga. Then what's kind of sad about this as well is that the skins for it are so incredibly good. Like the skins for it, whoever made these just absolutely cooked. These skins are insane, and this pattern on the snout looks so good, and these are just some of the best skins in the game, and sadly they are on this species because the whole model itself isn't really good at all, I think. And then the snout coloring, like the skins are so good, and I would say that the model in some ways matters more than the skins, because the model can still be horrible, and if the skins are good, that doesn't change the model. This model still looks bad and weird and not like a Giganotosaurus, but the skins are cool. And yeah, you can take a mound of shit and you can paint it gold, but it will still be a mound of shit. That's sort of a little allegory for this, I would say. And yeah, the skins are really good, and makes me sad that they are on this really weird and ugly and Godzilla-like design that just doesn't look like a Giga whatsoever. Next up, we have a straight parallel to my underrated species ranking, and on there was of course the Torosaurus, and the biggest argument for it being underrated is the Triceratops in this game. So yeah, if the Torosaurus is underrated, it is because the Triceratops is simply overrated. Many people of course like the Triceratops more because it's the more famous dinosaur and it was in the movies. But if you look at it in game, the skins are just really not good at all. There's no pattern on the frill pretty much. The most color you're gonna be getting is this sort of greenish, moldish kind of look that barely even, yeah, it just doesn't look good. The skins for it are really bad, and also I don't know, the design of it just looks so fat, and I don't like this whole design language that they have going on in the Jurassic franchise for the Ceratopsians. And yeah, this one is basically the mold for it, which created sort of the Sinoceratops and other designs in the franchise. And yeah, it's just so fat. I don't think that's I think that Ceratopsians should be more elegant sort of species with like this elaborate frill designs. That's how I like to see them. And yeah, I think the Torosaurus is just better in every single way, and it's underrated because it has better skins and a better model. And the Triceratops is overrated because it's just a worse version, and people, I feel like, only like the Triceratops because it's a more famous name and it was in the movies. Now the Carnotaurus, another species that is inherently a really cool and really unique and awesome species, but I think it just, in this game, the design doesn't look that good. First of all, the face, I don't know, it just looks kind of, the textures on it look a bit weird maybe, on like the eyes, I feel like. And then also, of course, the skins for it are really not good whatsoever. You can pretty much only use the Rana pattern. The other patterns don't look good at all, just these weird splotches or something on the body, and it doesn't really look good. You can pretty much just do 50 shades of Carnotaurus like this, and then also with that, most of the colors I feel like aren't that good. So you're pretty much just going to be having, I know, a green Carnotaurus, a brown one, and like a red Carnotaurus. Of course, then you also have these skins. You have the what? Oh, no, okay, it was a little glitch right here, whatever that was. So we have the Toro skin, which I don't really like that much. I think the eyes still look a little weird on it. But then we have this one, where I think the eyes look a lot better. So this is probably my favorite skin for it. But the whole issue with the Carnotaurus I have is that it looks a little bit too much like a horned T-Rex. It feels really like the base of this design was a T-Rex. I think the body is a bit too thick, then also the tail and the posture. It doesn't really look that much like an Abelisaur, because normally a Carnotaurus would be a lot more lankier and more skinny, and that really is the, you know, iconic look of a Carnotaurus to me. So yeah, the skins aren't that good. I think it should just be, it should have more of a look like an Abelisaur. For example, the Majungasaurus in this game is a lot more elongated and it looks a lot more like an Abelisaur, and I think the Carnotaurus should have a bit more of that look, and that's what makes it kind of overrated. And also, yeah, it's just overrated because it's a cool dinosaur, but in the game the skins aren't that good, and the model, I think, is also not that good. Next up, we're gonna have another pretty controversial one, and that is the Velociraptor. And I get it, it was cool in the movies, it was scary in the movies, with this skin, you know. And then also these skins, they're a cool design for the movie, but I don't feel like they work well in this game. Really, this design just looks super weird. We're gonna go into this. The skins for it are actually alright, they're not too bad, but yeah, they could of course be better. I think they're not really that good skins, and then it just looks like a naked chicken again, and that's really my biggest complaint with it. It was good, it's a good movie design, I like the movie skins in the movies, but for using them in the game, I just prefer to use better looking raptors, like for example the Utahraptor, which just looks absolutely perfect, and also makes those awesome calls, yeah, these Velociraptor calls, which I love. Yeah, so the Velociraptor is really overrated. I think the nostalgia is just, many people are just weighing the nostalgia for the movies way too much, and just instead of actually focusing on how the species looks, they're like, okay, this was in the movies, I like the movies, and for that reason the Velociraptor is good. But I think that we should rather look at actually how well the design looks as a dinosaur and not as a creature in a movie. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought of this list and what you think of the picks. Yeah, like I said, in my opinion, it was quite difficult to declare some of these species as overrated, but I think the 5 I chose fit that description quite well. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Subscribe if you haven't yet. See you guys in the next one. Bye bye.